Hello friends, welcome to Bankers platform. So friends, today we'll continue our video on master direction on export of goods and services. So in our last second part, we have discussed up to page number 15. So let's continue. So now we'll discuss about export to neighboring countries by road, rail or river. So the following procedure should be adopted by exporter for filing original copies of EDF, where exports are made to neighboring country by road, rail, or river transport. So first is that in case of export by barges or country craft or road transport, the form should be presented by exporter or his agent at custom station at the border through which the vessel or vehicle has to pass before crossing over to foreign territory. So for this purpose, exporter may arrange either to give the form to the person in charge of the vessel or vehicle or forward it to the agent at the border for submission to custom. So फिर जब भी कोई भी ट्रेड अगर कर रहे हैं near by countries को by road railway, so they have to give the which form EDF form. Okay, copies of the EDF form to custom station through any agent or the person himself can give. Okay, so as regards exports by rail, custom staff has been posted at certain designated railway station for attending to custom formality. They will collect the EDF. Okay, EDF is export declaration form for goods loaded at these stations so that the goods may move straight to the foreign country without further formalities at the border. So in this also, that custom officer will be available at the railway station. Okay. So for goods loaded at station other than the designated station, exporter must arrange to present EDF to the customer officer at border land customs station where custom formalities are completed. So suppose somebody is sending the goods and the main station is somewhere else. So they can also do the formalities in that station. Okay. So border trade with Myanmar. In supersession of instruction contained in APDIR series circular 17 dated October 16, 2000, barter system of trade at Indo-Myanmar border has been discontinued. So first, earlier there was a concept that in India and Myanmar there was a barter system. In that, like some things we will export from India and some things we will take from the Myanmar in like barter system in exchange. There will be no exchange of money. Okay, so here they're saying that that is discontinued. It is not available now. And accordingly, all trade transactions with Myanmar, including those at Indo-Myanmar border, with effect from 1st December 2015, shall be settled in any permitted currency in addition to Asian Clearing Union mechanism. So counter trade arrangement with Romania. So the Reserve Bank will consider counter trade proposal from Indian exporter with Romania involving adjustment of value of exports from India against value of imports made to India in terms of voluntarily entered arrangement between the concerned parties. So same like barter system, they will do export also and import also as per the counter trade agreement with Romania. So subject to condition, among others, that the Indian exporter should utilize the fund for import of goods from Romania into India within 6 months. So they have to utilize the this opportunity within 6 months. Repayment of state credits. Export of goods and services against repayment of state credit granted by erstwhile USSR will continue to be governed by the extant direction issued by Reserve Bank. Okay. So next is forfeiting. Exim Bank and AD Category 1 bank have been permitted to undertake forfeiting for financing of export receivable, remittance of commitment fee, service charges, etc., payable by the exporter as approved by the Exim Bank or AD Category 1 bank concerned may be done through an AD. Such remittance may be made in advance in one lump sum or at monthly interval as approved by the authority concerned. So export factoring on non-recourse basis. So AD bank have been permitted to factor the export receivable on a non-recourse basis so as to enable the exporter to improve their cash flow and meet their working capital requirement, subject to condition as under. So AD Bank may take their own business decision to enter into export factoring arrangement on non-recourse basis. They should ensure that their client is not overfinanced. Accordingly, they may determine the working capital requirement of their client taking into account the value of the invoices purchased for factoring. The invoices purchased should represent genuine trade invoices. So, friends, in case of factoring, that these guidelines to be followed by the banks, that guidelines are given. So, question can be framed from here. So, it's better you should have the understanding of this. Okay, so here they are taking that bank has to take its own decision if they are doing factoring arrangement on non-recourse basis. Non-recourse means there is no security without any guarantee basis they are doing. Okay, with recourse and this is without recourse. So here the bank will have their own business decision. Okay. AD Bank being the export factor should have an arrangement with import factor for credit evaluation and collection of payment. So that bank has to understand that whether this arrangement is available or not. Like bank will take the credit opinion of that overseas party and they will also see that by which way they will collect the payment. Okay, collection of payment. No notation should be made on the invoice that importer has to make payment to the import factor. Means that on the invoice it should be mentioned that suppose A has done the export. Okay, A has done the export, and in that case what will happen that 1 second. Okay, suppose A has done the export to B. So to B, they are doing the export. So this A has gone to the bank and he is saying that you purchase this bill. Okay. This is bank and they're saying that you purchase the bill. So this bank, what they will do? So like here it is given, notation should be made on the invoice. So whatever the invoice will be raised by the A, in the invoice, it should be mentioned that this payment, this payment to be made to the B has to make payment to the bank, not to the this party A. Okay, this thing you have to understand. This should be mentioned on the invoice. So after factoring the export, factor may close the export bill and report the same in the export data processing and monitoring system, EDPMS of the Reserve Bank of India. Let's see next factor. In case a single factor not involving import factor overseas, the export factor may obtain credit evaluation detail from the correspondent bank. So KYC and due diligence on the exporter shall be ensured by the export factor. Export factor is bank. Okay, so project export and service export. So this is related to projects related. So we'll see which are the important points, friends, because here so many guidelines are given and this much deep questions will not be coming, but you should have the idea what are the things are required for this project export and services. So let's see next point we'll see this export of goods on lease, hire, etc. So prior approval of RBI is required. So this you can remember for export of machinery equipment on the lease hire basis under agreement with overseas lease against collection of lease, rental, hire charges and ultimate re-import. So it should be re-import at the last. Exporter should apply for necessary permission through AD Category 1 bank to regional office concern of the Reserve Bank, giving full particular of the goods to be exported. So sometimes friends, big companies are there and they will give the machine on lease and hire basis, on rental basis. So they will export the machine, they will take the monthly rent, and after the a period of time, as per their contract, they will re-import. They will re-import the machine. So for this purpose, Reserve Bank of India permission is required. So RBI permission is required for this purpose. That you have to remember for the export of goods on lease hire basis. Export on elongated credit terms. So exporter intended to export goods on elongated credit terms may submit their proposal giving full particular through their bank for consideration to regional office concern of RBI. So elongated terms means like suppose they are doing any export of $5 lakh machine. So they will give them 3 year, 4 year, 5 year repayment period. So for this elongated credit terms, then exporter has to take the permission of Reserve Bank. Export of currency. So in terms of foreign exchange management regulation, so we have to see that what are the guidelines in export of currency. Means when you are taking the currency outside of India. So first is any person resident in India may take outside other than Nepal and Bhutan currency notes of Government of India and Reserve Bank up to an amount not exceeding 25,000. So this you have to remember. This question many times asked that how much amount one can take. INR. Here we are talking about INR. Okay. So INR one can take 25,000 other than Nepal and Bhutan. Okay. Outside India. So any person resident outside India not being a citizen of Pakistan and Bangladesh and also not a traveler coming from and going to Pakistan or Bangladesh and visiting India may take outside Indian currency notes, okay, not exceeding 25,000. So in this case also 25,000 while exiting only through an airport. So part B is EDF for soft text procedure. So the soft text is for software exports. As you know, India is the biggest software exporter. So there is a provision that for software also you have to generate the shipping bill. It is not a shipping bill, it is soft text. That is called soft text. Okay. So export of goods through custom ports. Customs shall certify the value declared and given running serial number on the two copies of export declaration form. So whenever any person is doing the export, so that custom person, they will certify that the value declared and they will give the running number, means shipping bill number they will give on the two copies of EDF export declaration form submitted by exporter at non-electronic data interchange EDI ports. Customer shall retain the original EDF for transmission to Reserve Bank and return the duplicate copy to exporter. At the time of shipment of goods, exporter shall submit the duplicate copy of the EDF to customs. After examining the good, custom shall certify the quantity in the form and return it to the exporter for submission to AD for negotiation or collection of export bill. Okay, so once they give the form, that will be certified by the custom officer, and after that, that will be returned to the exporter. So within 21 days from the date of export, exporter shall lodge the duplicate copy together with relative shipping document and extra copy of invoice to AD name in the EDF. तो EDF is the export declaration form, that is shipping bill. तो जो फ्रेंड जो shipping bill है उस पे हर डिटेल होनी चाहिए और that is compulsory. Okay, so in shipping bill details will be there. Once the exporter is getting the shipping bill, then what he will do? He has to submit the document to the bank. Okay. Exporter has to submit the document to the bank within 21 days from the date of export. 21 days from the date of export, he has to submit the documents, okay, to the bank. And after that, what bank will do after the bank have been negotiated? Okay, then it will be sent for collection, and the AD shall report the transaction through EDPMS. So this process will be followed. So the exporter has done the export, so he will submit the document to the bank. Okay, he will submit the document to the bank within 21 days. This point you remember many times this is asked in the exam. Okay, and within 21 days he has to give, and then bank can directly send for collection or they will do negotiation. In negotiation, they will purchase the bill for the exporter, give the money to exporter, and then the bank will send the document to overseas bank, and from overseas bank they will receive the payment on the due date. Okay, so this is the process that is discussed here, and that to be reported in ADPMS. That bank will report in ADPMS this data. In case of export made under deferred credit arrangement or joint venture abroad against equity participation or under rupee credit agreement, the number and date of the Reserve Bank approval, number and date of the relative RBI circular shall be recorded on the ADF. Where duplicate copy of PDF is misplaced or lost, AD may accept copy of duplicate EDF duly certified by Custom Department. So export of goods or software done through EDI ports. The shipping bill shall be submitted in duplicate to the authority concerned, Commissioner of Custom or SCZ, if the export is made through it. After verifying, authenticating, the authority concerned shall hand over the documents to exporter. One copy of shipping will mark exchange control copy for being submitted to AD Bank within 21 days, same which we have already discussed for collection or negotiation of shipping document. However, in case where EC copy of shipping bill is not printed in terms of circular number this, the data of shipping bill is integrated with EDPMS. Requirement of submission EC copy of shipping bill with AD would not be there. Okay, so if it is not printed, shipping bill is not printed, but data is available in EDPMS, then it is not necessary for the exporter to submit the hard copy, original copy of the shipping bill. So this is for EDI ports. One is EDI and previous here we have discussed non-EDI. These are the non-EDI ports. Okay, at non-EDI ports. The manner of disposal of EC copy of shipping bill shall be same as that for EDF. The duplicate copy of the form together. Okay, same as we discussed earlier. If copy is available, then same procedure we have to follow. Export of goods through post. So from post also the goods can be exported like some small articles. Okay. So everywhere the same things will be followed. So postal authority shall allow the exporter to export the goods by post only if original copy of EDF has been countersigned by the AD. So if they are doing from courier, firstly they have to get EDF generated from the custom, and then bank also has to countersign. And therefore, EDF, which involves sending goods by post, should be first presented by the exporter to AD for counter signature. So firstly, bank will sign in that. Okay. So the procedure is given. AD shall countersign EDF after ensuring that the parcel has been addressed to their branch or correspondent bank in the country of import and return the original copy to the exporter. Okay, so they have to also give within 21 days documents, and the concerned overseas branch or correspondent shall be instructed to deliver the parcel to consignee against payment or acceptance of relative bill. So AD may, however, countersign EDF covering parcel address direct to the consignee. So directly that can be go to consignee also. And in that, these conditions are there. Irrevocable letter of credit for full value of export has been opened in favor of the exporter and has been advised through the AD concern. The full value of the shipment has been received in advance by the exporter through an AD. The AD is satisfied on the basis of the standing and track record of the exporter and the arrangements made for realization of the export received. In such cases, particular of advance payment, letter of credit, AD certification of standing, etc. of the exporter should be furnished on the form under proper authentication. So next is mid-sea transshipment of catch by deep sea fishing vessel. So this is not that much important, but we can discuss main point. Okay, since deep sea fishing involve continuous sailing outside the territory limit, transshipment of catches take place in high sea, leading to procedure constant in regulatory reporting. Okay, that EDF and all they cannot report. So for mid-sea transshipment of catches by Indian-owned vessel, as per the norm prescribed by the Ministry of Agriculture, Government of India. ADF declaration procedure in this regard has been rationalized in consultation with Government of India. So the exporter may submit ADF duly signed by master of vessel in lieu of custom certification. So here shipping bill will not be there, but that ADF will be there signed by the master of the vessel, indicating the composition of the catch, quantity, export value, date of shipment, etc. Duly supported by a certificate from a international cargo surveyor. Bill of lading or receipt of transshipment issued by carrier vessel should include the ADF number. So this all is given the procedure, how it will be done. Okay. So soft text. Soft text, like I told you, soft text is for software. So whenever anybody is doing software export, so in that they have to file soft text. Okay, a common soft text form has been devised to declare single as well as bulk software exports. Invoicing of software export. So for long duration contract involving series of transmission, the exporter should bill their overseas client periodically, at least once in a month on reaching the milestone. Okay, next is citing of specific identification number. In all application or correspondence with Reserve Bank, the specific identification number as available on the EDF and soft text form should invariably be cited. So whenever any communication somebody is doing with the RBI, so they have to put these identification numbers. Export of services. Services like some people are giving the like online services, guiding somebody, teaching somebody. So it is clarified that in respect of export of services to which none of the forms specified in these regulation apply, the exporter may export such service without furnishing any declaration, but shall be liable to realize the amount of foreign exchange which becomes due or accrues on account of such export and to repatriate the same to India in accordance with the provision. So they are saying that there is no provision for services that shipping bill will be generated. So that can be done without generation of shipping bill. But whatever the service that a company or a person is providing, for that they should realize the amount of foreign exchange which is due to them. Okay. Third party export proceeds. So realization of export proceed in respect of export of goods or software from third party should be duly declared by the exporter in the appropriate declaration. So somebody, what is happening that suppose A is doing the billing to B, but he is receiving the payment from the C. So this will be called third party. This will be called third party export proceeds. Okay. So in this case, that it should be declared. It should be declared in the appropriate declaration form, the name of the third party. Otherwise, this can be a type of money laundering case. Okay, random verification. In all the above procedure, AD category 1 bank should ensure by random check of the relevant duplicate forms by their internal or concurrent auditor that non-realization or short realization allowed, if any, is within the power delegated to them or has been duly approved by the Reserve Bank. Okay, so this verification banks have to do because suppose somebody has done some shipment, somebody has done the shipment of $10,000, but he's receiving the payment of $9,000 and he is simply saying that goods were damaged for $1,000. So we never know that is correct or not, but we have to see that whether RBI is permitting that 10% of the shipment amount is allowed. So as per the guideline, like normally 5% of the shipment that can be considered as damage. Okay. But if somebody is doing 20% of the shipment is damaged, payment not received. So that will not be acceptable. Then we have to take the proper proof. Then only we can write off the balance amount. Otherwise, what will happen that a person will keep exporting in outside and he will get less amount. Suppose he is exporting for 10,000, getting 8,000, and 2,000 he is keeping in his foreign account. And this will impact in our that balance of payment and all that things, it will impact in our country. So these guidelines are available. Okay, next is short shipment and shut out shipment. So same like somewhere short shipment is done, shut out shipment means shipment which went but no payment was received. Okay, so this type of cases. Consolidation of air cargo, sea cargo. So this topic is very big, friends. Now we have discussed 10 pages till now. Okay, so consolidation of air cargo, sea cargo, we'll discuss in our next video. Uh, Till then, you can just go through because so many points are there and this that to be covered. And questions are framed from here. These are very important. So in next video, we'll discuss. Okay, so till now we have done up to here. So B11, we will start in next video from B11, consolidation of air cargo and sea cargo. Okay, so thank you friends. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.